It's not just another day in your life. Things are changing for the better. At Comcast, we see those changes, and we're thinking about how we use technology today to live, work, learn, and play. And we're building for the future now, so we're better prepared for the wants and needs of tomorrow. That's why Comcast is rolling out multi-gig internet speeds to more than 50 million homes and businesses before the end of 2025, making our already industry-leading network even faster, smarter, greener, and more reliable. Over the decades, Comcast has been your partner, working hard to serve your community, and will continue to be your partner. We're expanding our gigabits so you can enjoy the tiny bits that matter most.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Financially Fit Podcast. I am your host, Andre Creighton. We got another good one for you all today. For those that are new, I appreciate you all stopping in today. For those that are returning, thank you for continuing to rock with me. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you're finding some value in some of the things that we're talking about throughout our different podcasts. But today, we are going to be talking about taxes. So we're talking a little bit about pre-tax and post-tax deductions. We're not going to dive into the intricacies of all of them, but we are going to talk a little bit about them and hopefully get you all a good understanding of taxes and how you can make them work for you and some of the misconceptions that go along with taxes. So as always, I always like to start things out with a story because I feel like it really sets the tone to let you know that I'm also a person, right? I'm also a person that makes mistakes, that learns from my mistakes, that tries to move forward and continue to make my life better, right? And that's our goal on this podcast, is to become more financially fit. Just like your physical journey where you're going to the gym and you're pumping out those weights and you're trying to figure out, how do I get that six-pack back? I've been trying to figure that out for about 10 years now, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there one day. So, back in 2018, I was working as a lead senior financial analyst at a financial institution here in the Twin Cities. And, when I had just started this job, I had never had an HSA before. I knew about them and I had seen, I had friends that used them before. I had seen them as I was doing like enrollment. And for some of you that don't know what HSA means, it's a health savings account. And I decided for some reason, I don't know if it was God or if it was just the universe or what it was, I'm a God-fearing person, but whatever you believe in, there was something telling me that I needed to have a health savings account. So I did, I calculated out how much I could afford to put in this health savings account. Lo and behold, I had been a very healthy person up until this point, but I went on a trip to Colorado with a friend, went hiking. I'd been to Colorado a number of times and I've done this particular hike a number of times. And for some reason this trip was different. I was struggling to breathe. Something just wasn't right. So I get back to Minnesota, and one night I'm sleeping or trying to get to sleep, and I'm just coughing uncontrollably and couldn't really catch my breath. So the next day I go into a doctor and found out that I had hypertension. Like a lot of, unfortunately, black folks, we deal with high blood pressure, but it had been so bad for so long, and I had been putting my body into overdrive, with working out and a lot of those things, and it was causing my kidneys to start to fail. And at this point, I'm 27, 28. I'm like, man, this is like not cool. So I'm in the hospital for about 6 days. Never been in the hospital before. I'm seeing the heart doctor, the kidney doctor, the eye doctor. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to figure out, our kidney problems causing the high blood pressure? Is high blood pressure causing the kidney problems? What is going on? So 6 days later, they finally figure it out. They get me on, whatever medicines I need to keep my hypertension in control. But so I end up going back to work, probably about a week and a half later. And about a month after that, I received my bill. And my bill was thousands of dollars. Right. Now, I don't know about you. I do save money, but I don't save $1,000 to go to my medical bills. I don't think that's what anyone intends to have their money spent on. But what really saved me was having that health savings account, being able to go in there and say that, "Hey, man, I was contributing to this pre-tax, and being able to pull that money that I knew was specifically for something bad happened, right? And at 27, 28, you're not thinking about anything bad happening to you or any controversy, adversity in that way. But um, like I said, it just for some reason I had decided that day that I was going to get a health savings account, and I don't know if it was, for me, I believe it was God telling me that I needed that. For others, it may be whatever you believe in the universe. But what I'm here to tell you is listen to your intuition. Your intuition will never, never guide you wrong. So let's hop in and talk about pre-tax. And so pre-tax is really important. And I think, as you think about, pre-tax deductions, many of you may have jobs and you think about, you have your health insurance, your vision, your dental. Some of you may have a 401k, which is also pre-tax. Some of you may have children and contribute to a child dependent care fund, which is also pre-tax. Those things are super important because the money that's taken out of those paychecks reduces the taxable income. What that means is you make $1,000, you contribute X amount of dollars to said pre-tax deduction vehicle, whether that's a 401k, health insurance, dependent care, a flexible spending account, whatever it may be, that's going to reduce your taxable income. So those are super important. The other ones are your post-tax deductions. So, those are the things that are paid after your withholding tax have been taken out of your check. So, your federal income tax, your state income tax, if you have state income tax in whatever state you live in. Obviously, living here in Minnesota, where I live, we have state income tax, but there's places like Tennessee, Texas that don't have state tax, right? But you pay a lot on sales tax. So, um the benefits to the post tax are a lot of times you're even though you're paying that money after the money's already been taxed from your paycheck, a lot of times you're going to get a benefit on the back end when you file your tax return. So you may contribute to a HSA or IRA, and you'll be able to deduct that and have a deduction there that's a benefit to you on your tax return that will lower your taxable income on your federal return. So, your federal or state return, sorry. So, why are they both important? You know, they're important because when you think about life is about mitigating risk, right? It's about mitigating risk. So, when you get in the car every single day, I hope that most of you put your seatbelt on, right? Why do you put your seatbelt on? Well, you put your seatbelt on to mitigate risk, right? You get into an accident. The likelihood that you're going to come out of that accident alive is way more likely when you have your seatbelt on, right? The same thing with uh if you get pulled over by the police, right? The likelihood that you're not going to get a ticket for a seatbelt infraction or get a ticket in general is more likely because you're wearing your seatbelt, right? So the same holds true with this. You want to have pre-tax and post-tax because what we know about our society is that the US operates under a progressive and graduated tax system. So what that means is basically you're put into a tax bracket based on how much money you make, and every year that kind of creeps up. They call it the tax creep, right? You may not make any more money than you made last year, right? But every year the US is adjusting what that threshold between those different brackets may be. So it's important to have both because while I'm a 32-year-old man, right? I don't know 30 years from now when I approach retirement what the tax rates are going to look like. So you you want to have some of those post-tax deductions and contributing to retirement and things like that post-tax to make sure that you are paying the tax now where they might be lower than they will be in 30 years. But then on the other flip side of that, they could be lower in 30 years, right? So that's why we want to also have pre-tax. So there needs to be a good balance. It's called diversifying your portfolio. And we'll talk a lot more about diversification as we continue down this pathway of talking, about retirement and about investing and some of those things. But it's really important for us to understand how important it is to have diversification within our portfolio. So I highly encourage, that you have a little bit of pre-tax, you have a little bit of post-tax. I also encourage you to, learn about the pre-tax different pre-tax deductions. Um, I recently had a child who now is 1 years old, is 1 year old, and you know, back 2-3 years ago, I didn't need to pay for childcare, dependent care. I didn't have those expenses, right? Now me and my wife, we take full advantage of being able to deploy those dollars into an account pre-tax, so then we can pay for our childcare. Now we know that there's uh, it you're going to pay more in childcare than you can actually put into that account, based on some of the regulations. But it's nice to be able to have those dollars, right? You're saving more money at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, right, the goal is to keep your money, right? The goal is to keep your money. So the last thing I want to talk about is misconceptions around taxes, right? Um, a lot of people have this misconception that it's really good that I got $3,000-4,000 back in taxes at the end of the year. Everyone's waiting for January, February, March to roll around so they can get that tax money back, right? And I know while that's great for some of you, it's like, yeah, you're planning out like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy this. I'm gonna save for this. I'm gonna go on that trip that I've been planning with my family. I'm gonna do this for my kids, whatever it may be. I'm here to tell you that it's not good to get a tax refund, and I'm gonna tell you why. At the end of the day, the goal should be to pay zero tax and to also receive zero refund. Why is that? Because at the end of the day, it's the time value of money, right? A dollar today is better than a dollar tomorrow. Why is that? Because I can take that dollar today and I can invest it, right? So if you go throughout the year and you make your paycheck and you make your money, and then January, February comes around and you get a refund, what that tells you is that your your withholding, you had more money taken out than you needed to, than you had for taxable income. And that's important to know, because that means that you're not getting all of your money in that year, right? If I tell you that a dollar today is better than a dollar tomorrow, I want my money now so I can invest it now. I don't want it 6, 7, 8 months from now and let the government keep the money and invest it and make interest on that, right? So it's super important. That's a misconception. And I think, I see people all the time. They're so happy when they get that $5,000, $6,000 tax refund. But I'm here to tell you that you want it today. So how can you get to a point where you are able to have that today? Some of that is tax planning. There's lots of different tools out there on the internet that can help you with your tax planning. You can get a CPA, which is what I highly advise. Everyone should have two things: a lawyer and an accountant. Those are two professionals that you need in your back pocket. Um, they're super important. So I hope that you kind of understand some of the differences between pre-tax and post-tax, and I hope that you're understanding, and we're dispelling some of those misconceptions that we have as a society around tax refunds. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. Thank you for tuning in to the Financially Fit podcast. Once again, I am your host, Andre Creighton, and I thank you all for rocking with me today. I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Shaletta Brundage. I'm a media personality, podcaster, and a business owner. But my most important role is mom. 3 of my beautiful kids have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. When I didn't know who to trust or where to turn, I found ACRA. ACRA provides home care services to families all over Minnesota. The care is not one size fits all. They know each one of my kids is unique. They listen to what resources we needed and what's best for our family. I've seen my kids grow and thrive with ACRA's in-home care. While autism is the most common diagnosis among ACRA clients, ACRA offers personalized in-home care services for people with disabilities, chronic illnesses, behavioral diagnosis, and mental illness. They work with children, adolescents, and older folks too. Find out more about ACRA at their website, acrahomecare.org. ACRA helps me provide my kids with a better quality of life. They can do it for your family too.
Children's Minnesota, the leader in specialized healthcare for kids, is here to raise awareness, standards, the bar, the stakes, the question, the curtain. On raising kids' health to the highest priority, kids need equal access to healthcare, more pediatric expertise, a voice for change. Kids need us, all of us. So let's raise them up.
Do you worry that lead-based paint in your older home might be dangerous to your children or kids who visit you? Well, Hennepin County put those fears to rest. Hennepin County offers free lead tests and home assessments. If they find anything, eligible homeowners and landlords can receive up to $15,000 for work on the home, including new windows. The government banned lead-based paint 45 years ago when it was discovered that lead poisoning can affect development and cause permanent damage in young children. But 75% of those homes built before 1978 still contain some lead-based paint. As the paint degrades, it can make dust that little kids ingest when they're crawling and putting things in their mouths. So make sure your home is safe and hazard-free. Learn about testing and that $15,000 grant at hennepin.us/lead control. That's hennepin.us/lead control.
COVID-19 is still going around, and even a mild case can be serious during pregnancy. So what should you do if you're pregnant and have a positive COVID test? First, reach out to your doctor or healthcare provider. There might be treatment options they can recommend. That includes giving you a prescription for an antiviral drug you take in pill form by mouth. If you haven't gotten a COVID vaccine, it's not too late. Doctors say vaccinations are safe in any trimester, but the sooner the better. Pregnancy can be a time of great joy and anticipation, so take good care so you and your baby are healthy. And congratulations.
You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.